PRI show, and I'm at the ETS Racing Fuels booth. All right, I'm here with Matt. How you doing, Matt? I'm Gary.
Good, how are you?
And this guy was just, we didn't really get much into it because I wanted to save all the good stuff for the video. So I kind of like stopped. I'm like, yo, we need to record this because I have a feeling like there's going to be some bangers coming out of this this conversation. So Matt, tell me a little bit of like what kind of like what you got with this fuel, how does it work, what's going on with it?
Sure, yeah, a little bit of a history. So it's a European fuel. The fuel is made in Europe between Germany, France. The engineers are in Germany and France, and they work together. It's been in the States since 2014. We've been a little bit slow growth because we rely heavily on quality.
Okay.
You don't see it on every street corner. We're a little bit more bougie, but we make more power, we make it more consistently, and the inside of our engines look a lot cleaner.
Really?
So that's our goal. We don't make methanol, we don't make nitro products. We focus on the gas market.
Okay.
And getting you the best bang for your buck, so to speak.
Yeah.
And unfortunately what that means is a little bit slower of a growth, but a better product.
Okay. So you say gas, are we just focusing on just pump gasoline? Or are you guys also doing pump gasoline, E85, or a blend? Or
yeah, so I'm talking about race fuel.
Okay.
So we don't make a pump gas. Or
equivalent to, I
right.
guess we can
Yep.
say pump gas.
We do make what we call Z85, which is an ethanol, really good ethanol blend, and you'll see 10 to 15% gain just as a direct pour in over other ethanol blends.
Okay.
And the same goes for our race fuels across the board as well.
Okay.
So we have different blends depending on if you have a naturally aspirated engine, if you've got a supercharged or a turbo application. It just kind of depends on what your build is.
Okay.
We probably have a fuel that'll match, that'll get that power that you're looking for. And as you being an engine builder, you know consistency is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And keeping those valves clean, right?
Yep.
We don't want that
Yep.
carbon buildup, especially with motorcycles.
Definitely.
So that's what we specialize with, is clean power and obviously more power.
Yeah.
So anytime we can keep the engine cooler, we're going to make more power, and we make it efficient.
Definitely. Now, with the fueling, so in our industry, in the motorcycle industry, the big heavy hitter when it comes to fuel is the VP MR12.
Yep.
Do you have, like, would you say you kind of have like an equivalent to that?
Absolutely, yeah.
And
that equivalent,
what would
you're
that
going to
be?
see
Yeah.
about 5 to 10 more horsepower out of that equivalent.
Over
the MR12.
MR12.
Yep.
Really?
I have the dyno sheets from my shop to prove it.
My ears are wide open. So
Yep.
what fuel would that be?
So that would be the X Pro Drag or the XS Evo.
Okay.
We don't have as many blends as our competitors, but that goes back to the quality over quantity, right?
Okay.
So we have 3 blends that are kind of right there in that range what you're looking for. The other thing too is our octane numbers are a good bit lower than what you might see the competitors, but the chemicals and the additives in the fuel create that burn rate, and that's where we produce that energy quicker and faster. And octane isn't as much of a factor as it is with some of the competitors.
And like a lot of people being in the tuning industry and all this stuff, and the engine building and motorcycle, a lot of people think like you always have to have a high octane fuel
Right.
to get maximum amount of power, but
Right.
and I tell people this all the time, like it's actually sometimes having a high octane fuel can actually hurt you power wise, because like what you said earlier,
Absolutely.
it makes it harder for it to burn.
Yep.
And it doesn't burn as efficiently as it would if it was a lower octane.
Absolutely.
Right?
So we both know that we can tune a bike to run on 87
Yep.
the same as on 93 pump
Yep.
fuel.
Yep.
It's just ignition tuning,
Yep.
according to what you got with your modifications and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Now, why would you run this expensive race fuel over pump gas? Because we know we can make power on pump gas.
Yeah.
With OEM ECU tuning and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This is way cleaner. And if you're looking for that power and you want your engine to stay together, and again, the biggest thing, it goes back to consistency. You're getting 90 plus octane out of the pump or E85. You don't really know exactly what you're getting. So your AFR readings are going to be off, and on this day it's this. You get these readings, and so on and so forth. What we specialize with, and what most race fuel brands specialize with or try to, is consistency.
Yeah.
I will say
that's why we're willing to spend the money,
right, Yep.
to pay for
And it
cans
makes more
because
power.
it's consistent.
Right.
We
And
know that that's going to be the same number every single time.
should be, right?
We run, yeah, technically
Yep.
it should be.
So again, with being a European company, the way we make fuels is night and day difference to anything that gets domestically blended here.
Okay.
It's vastly different. You can imagine somebody grilling in their backyard making burgers versus a chef at Ruth Chris.
Yeah.
That's the difference between us
Yeah.
and our competitors. You know, the burger is the same, but the Ruth Chris one's probably going to taste a little better.
Yeah, yeah.
And the wine's going to be a little
it's gonna
better.
Be a lot
the service
cleaner
is
at the
going to
end
be
of the day.
better. It's going to be cleaner. Like you know where the burger's coming from.
You're
right?
not worrying about your uncle
Right.
cooking in a dirty grill.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. So yeah, and then obviously we all want to make more power.
Yeah.
And if I can make more power and get more runs out of it, and I don't have to do the top end and do the valves and all that kind of stuff, the carbon buildup, it's good all around.
So now you said the Evo and the Evo Drag, right? Did I get
X Pro Drag.
X
Yep.
Pro Drag. So
Yep.
on those fuels, I'm guessing that they're oxygenated fuels,
Yep.
correct?
Absolutely.
So do we know what's the oxygen content in
Yeah,
it?
absolutely.
So what is it?
So
Oh.
we have them in here. Now, most of those you're going to see between
this is nice.
5%.
Before you continue,
And
this
the
is
only reason
nice
I'm-
because this is hard to find a fueling
Right.
company.
And the
to
only reason I'm
offer this
having you
stuff.
open this is because we have a couple different blends and I'd rather get it right the first time.
Yeah.
So here you can see, let's take a look. So we have the X Pro Drag is right here. And then in these, if you go further back the book, you'll see, so X Pro Drag 2, in this one you can see a little quicker as far as, so XS Evo, so we have oxygen contents 3.7.
Okay.
You get your specific density, and then we'll even send you the AFR ratios, the stoichiometric ratios
For power.
For power, yep.
Okay.
So it makes it easier. What tuning software do you use?
So we use Willis Racing.
Same.
Yeah, we
Yep.
use Willis Racing. They're the gold standard when it comes to tuning motorcycles.
Yep.
So we use Willis Racing, and then typically on an MR12 bike, I'm usually tuning that at around 12.8 AFR. Would that be kind of similar?
We're going to be rich.
Okay.
So that's the other thing too with ours is if you pour our equivalent right into the tank with the same exact tuning, you'll be able to do that. And the nice thing is you won't have to pull it back out of the tank.
See, because okay.
And it'll immediately
that is something we need to talk about.
It'll
Okay.
immediately run richer, which will give you room to go leaner to make more power more reliably.
Okay.
So, and back to the pulling it back out of the tank. Our stuff doesn't eat fuel lines. It doesn't eat fuel pumps.
It doesn't turn like gel or whatever. It doesn't do any of that.
Nope.
Because that's a big
If
thing
it
right
does,
now.
you need to call us.
Yeah.
And we'll get you some more fuel. But yeah, we go back to the manufacturing process. It's much cleaner. And our chemicals, our competitors have chemicals in their fuel in order to make them, in order to stabilize them and get that burn rate and things like that. There's some states they're not even legal.
Okay.
We're legal in all 50 states, all of our fuels.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about regulations or anything like that. Now, obviously, if you're drag racing or road racing, there's if you're in a series, some of the series have spec fuels, and you might not be able to run our fuel. But if you're just looking for a good street tune or drag bike, drag racing is usually not regulated unless it's like XDA. There's always classes that let you run what you want, and we'll blow everybody out.
And really, for my customers, my viewers, and all that stuff, these guys, they're running on the street. You know what I mean? And they're running roll racing in Florida or Texas or wherever, Cleveland. So really, they want to put a fuel in that's going to give them the best bang for their buck. And like I said, for years, VP has been that standard. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So now that I found you, I'm really interested to like get a can in and put into a bike and see what it makes. Because I mean, it's not just about we can't just rely on just one manufacturer.
We should always be trying to find, and that's racing in general.
Yeah.
Look at the guys that you build bikes for.
Yeah.
If they can shave a couple pounds off,
Yep.
or they can get a little more aerodynamic. I mean, they're pulling seats off, they're pulling tank covers off.
Yeah.
All this different kind of stuff. But the main thing is, if you're able to put the fuel in your tank go run all night long,
Yeah.
and put the bike back in the
In
garage.
the garage and not even worry
Go
about
take
it
a
for a
nap.
week.
Right.
Yeah.
Go take a
Yeah.
nap, and she's good.
Yeah.
You wake up the next day and take her out and clear her out, she'll be ready to go, right?
Yeah.
And the tuning should stay the same.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, any fuel, we want to make sure it's stored properly and
Yeah.
things like that. With our fuel, an open can will typically last around 3 months. It'll last longer, but that's what we recommend.
3
right?
months. So,
Open.
Yeah, open. So that's
Unopened will be
another
a
thing
year.
because VP, once you crack that can open,
And you got to store it upside down,
Yeah,
and
you're
this
on a
far off the
time clock,
ground,
yeah.
and then, all kinds
Yeah.
of fun stuff, right? Now, no fuel likes to sit on concrete or the dirt or in the heat or anything like that, right?
or in the cold or wherever.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So temperature fluctuations aren't good for anything,
Yeah.
fuel included.
Yeah.
But we, with our formulations and things like that, we make it super user friendly. We know we're going to make more power. It's going to be more fun to use, but it's a learning curve.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, the other brands have been the staple. So no different than when you started using Woolwich Racing. If you did switch to our fuel, your formulations are gonna have to change, and you're going to be testing multiple fuels to achieve those better results.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is too, what I've learned is it takes a little bit of convincing for the customers,
Yeah.
because they're so used to hearing octane numbers, like you said, and it's already a problem, even for the pump gas guys. They
Yes.
don't,
Big
and
problem.
that's where it's our job to educate, not just build, right?
Yeah.
But that's where with the race fuel as well, you'll have guys that are used to running MR12 or MRX02 or whatever you've
Yeah.
got, and now you're trying to get them to switch to a brand that you've just pulled out of thin air. They'll have to Google it. Well, the numbers aren't going to match.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's going to blow my bike up.
Yeah.
But if you have a dyno and you're tuning, you're like, no,
As long as we're
Here's-
making power,
as long as you're
As long
making
as you're
power
making power
reliably,
reliably,
especially for the
that's
street
what
guys.
matters,
And if you can push it further,
yeah,
that's even better,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So,
definitely. Well, I'm glad I was actually just walking by, guys, and I'm like, and I got like down there, I'm like, racing fuels. Let me come back and talk to these guys about this.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely interested. I'm definitely intrigued. Me and him, we got some stuff to work out, and maybe we could become a dealer for you guys or something
yeah,
like that.
we're always looking for deals, for sure.
work something out. I got at the moment I have a 1600cc Hayabusa that we're working on, and I got a 6 mil a 3x6 ZX10R that we're doing, and we're also going to be doing a turbo ZX10R.
Yeah.
And
So we have
some other
fuel
stuff, so-
specifically for turbo bikes
Yeah,
as well.
and that was something that I
It's
wanted.
11%. I'm losing my voice.
Yeah.
It's 11% oxygen and 108 octane.
11% oxygen. The E85 blend, you said?
No, this is just race
fuel. And it has 11% oxygen
She eats.
and what
108 octane.
108 octane. That's some good
Yep.
stuff right there.
Yeah. And then we have what we call Z85 for your ethanol.
Yeah.
For your ethanol people. And you'll get, even just a direct pour in, you'll get 12 to 15 more horsepower without even touching the tuning.
Wow.
You get the tuning involved
Yeah.
in there with the Z85. You're bumping
You're gonna pick
numbers
some
up,
numbers.
which you got to remember. If we're doing all that, if we're getting efficient with that, now the fuel pump doesn't need to work as hard.
No.
Now maybe you don't need to go up a size or two in your fuel pump. Your fuel system's going to like it a lot more. It's not going to work as hard, and anytime we can make the engine more efficient, she's going to like it more.
Yeah. My last question for you. Now, say on the Evo, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the cost of a 5 gallon? So you got some in 5 gallon or?
So these are 14-gallon kegs.
Okay.
Obviously 53-gallon drums, and these are liters because it's European.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have 6.6-gallon drums.
6.6.
That's the smallest we
Okay.
make. So gallon and a half more than a 5-gallon
Yeah.
can. So the price for a 6.6-gallon can is right around the same price as a 5-gallon can of our competitors' fuel.
Okay.
So it's $21 for our Extra Blaze 100, which is a good street fuel all
Yeah.
around. You can pour it in your weed eater, your car, your truck.
Yeah.
And then once if you're interested in becoming a dealer or just a consumer,
Yeah.
the prices are all on the website. And if you're interested in becoming a dealer, we'll get you my partner's card,
Yeah.
and reach out
Yeah.
to them. They'll get you set up.
We're
and
definitely gonna become a dealer for this because I want to try it. I want to get it on get something on the dyno with it, and then who knows? Like I said, this might be the next fuel for
you might be
for
the
us.
shop.
Yeah, it might
so
be
you don't
the shop.
you don't see a lot of dealers.
No, yeah,
and that's on purpose because we already know margins are insane for any part, whether it's an air filter, a tire, whatever the case is, right? And we like to use our dealers as, we consider them as partners. So you're helping us with R&D. The other thing too is you work very closely with us, and if you're doing something in the scene and it's growing, you have a direct access to the chemist, and if they can tweak some things over the years, like we're always changing, not always, we try to stay consistent, but you can have a bigger impact with us on, we want this type of fuel. You know, you like it, it's doing good, but can we tweak it just a little bit for your application if you've got a lot of customers? And so we try to make it easy, and we're not just trying to sell you fuel. It's more of a lifestyle brand. We know we can make the power cleaner. But you know, if it's going to be more expensive, you got to fuel that horsepower, and your engine's got to reflect it as well. So
definitely. Well, Matt, I appreciate your time. Thank you for all the knowledge he just dropped on us. Like I said, we're gonna go ahead and work some things out, figure some things out, and hopefully we'll soon in the future we could be making some type of dyno video or something with a bike on the dyno running this stuff, and you know, we'll see what it does, and hopefully, like he says, it makes good power, and this would be the new thing when it comes to motorcycle fueling. So, but yeah, thanks, Matt. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Great meeting you.